Welcome to a video where I'm going to talk about why Langrisser Mobile is a terrible game. I'm very critical of Gacha games and how they're ruining the gaming industry, and so I'll explain what is wrong with this after dropping this a while back and torturing myself playing this game. This game is based upon the Langrisser series, and it does what Gacha games are known for doing. They take your love for a franchise and they turn it into a game where the only real goal they have is to make money as cheaply as possible. So a common theme in Gacha games is low effort everywhere essentially. In the very beginning, the game looked promising. You look at the battle system; it's a strategy RPG like Fire Emblem. And even from day one, the game was already having issues. The global community, the global staff that was working with this game, talked about there being a lot of drama happening behind the scenes. A lot of the Chinese staff was quitting. It's a Chinese game, and the game is now just a mere show of what it used to be, even though it didn't really have that much of a good start after all. The good thing about this game is that it's one of those rare gacha where you don't need to pull to do the content. However, pulling itself is very terrible. You are allowed a pity at 100 pulls or 100 tickets or 10 pulls. But the rates are atrocious. One of the things about gacha that people don't know about is that certain banners are rigged, and you can tell by pulling on these banners, but the developers won't tell you. You can just kind of put two and two together how the banners that are hyped up the most happen to be the ones that have very terrible rates sometimes compared to banners with units that are all not that good. You can burn all your currency trying to go for a character if it's not guaranteed. Because this game has banners where you're guaranteed whatever's on the banner, but it'll have 3 units, and whatever you don't have, you might get. They don't come very often, and when you want to use it, the character that you want it for, you have to wait till it comes out on that banner. Because when characters first come out, oftentimes they're on banners that have up rates to get them, but you can still get off banner. And off banners in this game are notorious. You can build your currency for weeks, months. Get to a banner you want to pull for, and you lose everything and not even get it. And the worst part about it is, if you want your character to be strong, you gotta pull the character multiple times, or else you gotta slowly grind it over a period of months to get it to its highest level, where it has the best stat increases and ability enhancements. I will get to PvP, which is very terrible in this game. Player versus player in any gacha game is disgusting. The main reason why I quit this game is because of the worst aspect about it. The worst part of Langrisser Mobile is the difficulty. It is not designed to be fair. It is not designed to be fun. It is not designed like your 90s retro JRPGs were like. It is based upon being as unfair and frustrating as possible. Why? Because this game offers privileges you can pay for to make the game easier. They have this privilege package where you can go back if you make a mistake. Because in this game, it is typical of you to spend half an hour on the map just to make one little careless mistake, and you've lost that half hour and you gotta start over again. Speaking of badly designed difficulty, I can explain to you why it is. First of all, they give the bosses ridiculous stats that they should never have. They should never have. The game also, you never know when the level's gonna end, because you can walk on a certain tile, or take out a certain enemy, or do a certain thing, and the game will just spawn monsters all around you, while when it's their turn, and you will die. You will die. You've lost 30 to 40 minutes. You gotta start over again. You gotta play perfectly. You can't make mistakes. The difficulty in this game is punishing, and it's not fun. It's tedious. It's disgusting. If you want to play with people, they have these events that run during certain times a day. So if you live in the wrong country, you will not be able to play them because You have to be up like at 3 in the morning to do them. These co-ops are actually fun. I had more fun doing the lower level ones because I can take whoever I want. But it's been months and they haven't updated the co-op maps. So every day you're supposed to devote 2 hours every day to these co-op maps if you make the time zone, where you do them to get rare weapon drops, which are rigged themselves. All the terrible weapons have high rates, all the good weapons have low rates. It's completely unfair how unbalanced it is. And you have to do the same thing every day of the week for months. 2 hours of your life wasted every single day for as long as this game's gonna run. I'm not gonna do that. They're boring. The only reason why people do them now is because they don't have hobbies or a purpose in life, or they're just trying to show off. Then there's PvP, which is probably the second worst part of the game for me. Because people say all you need is strategy, but the people that say that are either whales, they don't play it, or they've accepted the fact that they never win, or hardly ever win. The people that put money in this game will become so strong, there's nothing you can do even if you use strategy. First of all, they're going to have all the gear they want. They're going to have the best rolls of enchants, which is the worst. Enchants are the worst upgrades for units because they're just terrible. They're rigged also. They're going to have the best units because they would have spent all the money to pool for all of them. And they're going to have everything they need to take out anybody who does not spend money on this game. If I could take it even further, the PvP finals matches are the players are cheating. People are borrowing accounts, or multiple people are playing one account and helping each other to beat the other person. It's ridiculous. PvP is absolutely ridiculous. And the main playstyle that wins is AoE. It is completely broken in this game. They're solely making characters or made characters that counter it. But it's truly obnoxious to lose against somebody because they spammed you with attacks that attack everybody and have a random trigger for random debuffs. They'll do random things to you. So you could have a strategy. This is what happens most of the time. You're going to have a strategy. You've already thought ahead. But your enemy will use a skill that will, if they get lucky, completely mess you up and make you lose. If they get lucky. So PvP for the most part comes down to luck and money. That's it. No strategy. Strategy does not win PvP. It's the same thing everywhere else. Then there's the guild, which is boring. People don't even do guild. They just sweep everything. And then the dailies. The dailies in this game are so tedious. They're so tedious. For the daily rewards, you have to do certain maps. And they make these maps obnoxious on purpose, where you see the way it should be is you should be able to auto them. You should be able to press a button that makes the AI take over your units, and you can go on and do what you have to do with your life. But no, this game decides that even if the map is easy, they make it where you have to be there putting in inputs. And so dailies take a long time. They make you do arena. They make you do arena once a day, and they're just too time consuming. This game is too time consuming. It is so time consuming. There are people that play multiple accounts. They probably don't go to school. They probably don't have a job. But why would you punish yourself like that? And a lot of people that were playing this game and making content online have quit because they realized how terrible it is. And then all the shops where you roll for weapons, of course they're rigged, so you get trash. You might even pull the same weapon three times in a row because the rate is so rigged and pathetic. In fact, in China, the only thing keeping this game going is the fan service. I talked to players on here before I quit. Not directly, but just in discussions. The main answer I got from people that still play this game, in this case global, is the fan service. That's it. That's the only thing keeping them in this game. That's pretty sad. And they have these upgrades. where they're called SP upgrades. Where you can make your character ascend to something even more powerful. That's for only very few characters that have this actually. And the requirements are so strict and time consuming, and you gotta be precise on. You have to time it. You have to like time it out. How you gonna do it for the week if you decide to do it at the wrong time? And the payoff is just so little. The payoff in this game is just so little, like which is expected in gacha games. And that about wraps up, I suppose, why this game is terrible. Broken difficulty doesn't make it fun. PvP, of course, is always terrible. Boring guild fights. People don't even do a guild fight somewhere. They just sweep everything. The events are essentially another issue because it's what gacha games tend to do when it comes to new content, new events. They just recycle the event. New sprites, new text, gets recycled. The events, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Just fighting the same enemies. And then they have the challenge quest where you gotta fight an enemy you gotta fight a boss that's a regular enemy that is basically a unit from the game with like times 10 stats, which is ridiculous. They also have this mode where you fight these mythical beasts, and to make it even worse, to make it waste more of your time, you have to do this to get certain rare items. But this match goes on infinitely until you lose. That's terrible. Until you lose. And then to make new content for the game, they decide to add another PvP mode involving chess, where you can't even control your units. It's luck based for the most part. I mean, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And eventually, I just said I have enough. I'm dropping this game. I'm never coming back to it. And people will say, "Oh, I cannot drop this game because I invested too much time into it," or they'll say, "I spent too much money," or they say, "Oh, because it's Langrisser." That is the best reason why you should quit the game, if that's your reason. So I feel bad for people that play this game because it's at such a low point. And of course, eventually, gacha games shut down. So your entire profile, progress, units, everything will get deleted. So so this is Langrisser Mobile. Don't ever play it. Don't ever touch it. Do not play any gacha games whatsoever. And in closing, that's all I have. Thank you for listening.